Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And look, we pulled Tyr a while ago, but we're just now getting around to her showcase. She is one of the free, quote-unquote, EX characters that you can only get off of the ticket banners, and luckily I finally pulled her from some of the tickets earlier this month or last month. And I think she's okay as a DPS character and small support. There's not a lot of places to use her right now, and I still don't have the Awakened Clayman. I might pick him up later in the month, but she is water. She's a physical EX character. She's on Stern of Spirit, which is the Overlord team. Antagonist and Hyper Heart, which Hyper Heart does not have a team. Antagonist is most recently the Emils and Shinsha team. And she's a single target, water physical. 490%. She has no extra ult effect, so she's just damage. And then she has two 55-point skills. First of which is everybody gets a 60% water buff, which is pretty good, and then gives herself her own personal super weakness strike buff for 30%. So she's going to hit fairly hard when you are type advantage. And then her second skill gives all physical allies guaranteed pierce, and then gives herself 60% pierce power. So she's giving a water buff and a pierce rate to everyone, and then buffing her own super weakness and pierce power. So she is she can be a support character for other people, but really wants to perform as the DPS unit. So, I mean, let's try her out. Her Valor trait nerfs greens, and if I had a dupe in her, she would give me extra skill points, but I don't, and I'm not going to. Let's just figure out how good she can be right now. Alright, first off, the Water Tempered Edge stage against Shuna gave us a magic team, but technically wants a physical enemy or a physical person to hit her. So Tyr, being water physical, is going to work really well. We're going to build a very not Water 2.0 team, though. Benny Mario is going to special convert, give us a physical buff, ult resistance down. Gaia is going to special convert for us, give us ult damage. We're going to avoid giving Tyr the crit, though, because we have no way to get around that, and the Shuna has crit resistance. Albus is going to be our dedicated green converter, which actually means we don't actually have an orange converter. Maybe I'll drop Blanc for Rieger then, just to have a dedicated, and we have a double ult swap with him. That probably works better. But the Shuna has 70% pierce resistance, so by using Albus, we're going to drop that down to 20, and then using Tyr, we're going to bump that up to like a positive 40% pierce power, because we can negate a lot of it with Albus. We're going to negate the rest of it with Tyr's own power, so we can actually get plus benefits out of it. And Renard's getting weakness strike and ult resistance down, so this should work fairly well, actually, all things considered. Let's see how well it does. Alright, finally, after many resets, got a good turn 1, so we can orb change out of this. She nerfs our entire front line turn 1 and turn 3, or turn 4, one of those two. So, we're going to bring you in, and we're going to bring you in, and let's get as much protection gauge as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. Alright, she is an EX character, so we do want an EX on. Oh, those are kind of cool animations. Does like a leg sweep, and it kind of looks like just a wave of water comes out. Okay. Well, yeah, we can do that. Okay, sure. Not enough to get a double stack. Alright, well, I don't feel like resetting, so let's just continue on. We'll use this orb change, we'll use the Guy orb change, and let's get the stack on Tyr. I don't know how much damage she is going to do, to be perfectly honest with you. Alright, hopefully she doesn't get nerfed here. If she does, then I have miscounted my turns here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you for that. Perfect. Yeah, I do like her animations, her battle animations. Those are pretty cool. Alright, and... okay, we're good. So, no. We need to send her away after we put these 2 stacks on her, and we'll bring in all of our other nerfed characters. And they can stay nerfed for the entirety of the fight. But Tyr, I mean, being a quote-unquote free-to-play EX character, I think she does serve a purpose as being just a rare DPS character for teams that probably don't need her but can use her, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it actually does, but what I'm thinking is that obviously you're only going to pull her off tickets, so you're not going to see her all that often unless you get some really ungodly luck, which people can get. So it's not like not pulling her is a detriment to your account. I think she's just a happy little cherry on top for anyone that does pull either her or Clayman to be like, hey, here's an extra option for you. It's not necessary because she's not technically part of any true meta team, but she can be good. Okay, so we can use the Guy Convert again. So, I mean, we're going pretty well so far. We just need to get her more orbs. And now we're avoiding all of the attack nerfs, so we can do whatever we want now for the rest of the fight. 4 turns to get her to the EX ult. We have the ult swapper with Rieger here, so it's not like we have to send her away or anything. And as long as we can continue to get good orbs for her, we're going to be okay. With this team, like how much... I don't even know what damage to expect here. I've never had someone buff their own super weakness strike. Okay, so remember when I was talking about having orbs for everybody? A lot of orbs for her? That's not what I was talking about. Okay. You know, I kind of think we just send her away. Do I sack this turn off and just send the 1 Rieger orb and then bring her back in for Benimaru next turn? I think I might do that. Because that'll be pretty much a guaranteed ult. Yeah, let's just do that. Sure, game. We'll lose a few stacks of Renard here. Alright, oh, I need a counter just for shits and giggles. Okay, that didn't hurt. Even though we're type disadvantage. Okay, so what do we need to convert here? 2 oranges, 2 greens? We can do that. So, let's see. 2 oranges, 2 greens, or 2 greens, 2 oranges, 1 orange, whatever. And then we'll bring Tyr in for Benimaru. We'll do the alt swap into a blue. And yeah, now we're going to get the EX alt, so we're looking good. Perfection. We'll go to turn 8, that way her defense drops off, so when we nuke, we're actually doing full power. She has to be in the back, though, because we don't want to give her the guaranteed crit from Guy, but we do want the alt buff. Also, she's hitting Guy a lot. Please stop that. Okay, this is turn 7. Ooh, perfect. Okay, so alt swap orb change. Boom. Boom. We can send Tyr away. And we'll bring in Albus, because her buff doesn't need to hit Tyr, because Tyr's already giving herself guaranteed Pierce. We just want the Pierce resistance debuff from Albus, which we can apply and then send away, and there's no harm in it. Doing that in the wrong order. Okay. This should be good. Okay. That's like the 10th counter of this fight. I swear to God, every time I try and do a showcase now, it's just counters. Everywhere. Literally everywhere. Okay. And thank you. Oh, yep, right back at you. Cool. And, oh, jeez. If she had hit him all 3 times, he would have died. Alright, so let's do the alt buff. No guarantee crit for Tyr, which won't nerf her damage. We can take, I guess, Rieger out. Sure. He's got the most orbs. And then we'll do the debuff with Albus. And then we'll bring in Benimaru for Albus. And then we'll use 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. And I've never once seen her alt animation on my own usage. Like, I've seen her in story quests when we fight her. But I've never actually watched her alt in person. And we still have 140 points. But we have used all the buffs, so sure, whatever. Make sure this is off, just in case something happens. I kind of see what kind of damage she does with 1 orb. Never mind, she might die. Let's just send the ult. Alright, dancing around, looking all happy, doing some acrobatics. She's going to punch me right in the face. Drop straight. 1.5 million. I mean... that's not bad. What kind? She's on Stern of Spirit and what? We just talked about this. And Antagonist. Ooh, sure. The Overlord team. I mean, we could put her there. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we could. Okay, I mean, yeah. Let's build an Overlord team then. All right, let's make it work. Gonna go against Tempered Edge Gazel because he's light. This team, Stern of Spirit, wants us to fight a light enemy, so we're gonna have super weak point against him. Yeah. Nabe is gonna convert hers, Shao Tears, Shizu, and Tears orbs. Diablo 0 point buff for the greens, which is great, and then 100% synergy power, which the stage cannot deal with. We're busting Shao Tier out. Don't ask me why. We are, though. We're going to try and make her look okay, which is not going to work. Overlord Shizu, because she's just a standout. And then Tyr is obviously our damage support, or our damage dealer. Alright, turn 1, always a delight when you can just convert and then a free green buff. Normally we'd have to bring the skill point units to give Isis the ability to use both of her skills. Not here, though. And then we'll take Diablo out. So, Reamer's going to give us a lot of skill points and being able to reset the front line, which we're not really going to use Shao Tier at all. The Despair skill is ass, and she only rushes her own ult with that, so we don't really need it for anything. That'll work. That can work. So, well, hopefully it works. Shao Tier, again, yeah, you're not really going to be useful for anything, so let's hope that this hits the oranges. You didn't. Okay, well, hold on, we'll be back. Okay, that looks a bit better. So, let's do... How many points do we got? We got 128 points. That's quite a bit. Wow. Alright. Oh, Shao Tier has no orbs. Alright, we'll get the fuck out of here. We don't need to worry about not converting anything, because Shao Tier doesn't have anything, which means Diablo doesn't have anything. So we can safely reset everyone. I could use this orb change, but I'm afraid it would only hit the blues, and that's not what we needed to do. So we're just going to be safe and smart about it. I guess the one good thing about Isis is that her buff lasts for 3 turns. So what are you saving? 5 points a turn? Details. Alright, green buff. Well, see, I'm forgetting that we could just use the same skill twice in a row because we have Diablo. Man. What? How freeing it is to be able to use multi-skills on the same turn without having to use the Protector. Huh. Gonna have to really open my mind up to that. Alright, okay, well, Diablo said, hey, I heard you wanted orbs. So... yeah, sure, let's go ahead and reset them again. Now we have to start using the alt swap. We gotta turn that off. But only once, because she's almost got her EX ult, and we're not that far into the fight. Okay, so green buff, cool. And now you can go away for Shizu, I guess. Yeah. Alright. And then orb change. Boom. And do it again. Alright, yeah, see? We have opened our mind. We understand the assignment of what needs to happen. We're gonna get a double stack with Reamer because of Shizu's trait next turn. And then we can send Tyr away before she gets sealed, which would seal her Pierce? Because we're not getting an attack buff from anything here. Yeah, so there's the double stack. Boom. Alright, perfect. Let's go ahead and reset. I mean, we don't really care that Diablo costs 20 points now because we have so many points to pull from. So don't need to worry about that. So let's reset this. Let's use the blue orb change to get rid of that. We'll do it again to, well, I guess we can pull him out for Shizu now, because she only has that orb. Yeah, so let's do this. And then reset again, that way we reset both Diablo and Nabe. And then we'll use just the Nabe convert. That's now been taken back down to 0. Use Diablo. We'll take Tyr out of here so she doesn't get sealed. And then, honestly, we could probably nuke next turn and we would be totally fine. So, not a huge deal here. Yeah, I think we will just nuke next turn. I don't really care. Well, oh, he's got pierce resistance. How much pierce resistance do you have? If anything, we'll just make a cut and we'll go to turn 8, because I don't really feel like sitting here. How hefty is that? 50% defense. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go to turn 8. I'll be back. All right, we're back. Turn 8. We are ready to go now. Let's do the weakness strike, all resistance down, the 2 buffs for herself, and then we need to bring in Diablo and Shoutir for their big buffs. Diablo, 100% synergy power is anything that prior to the January New Year's Blessing, and even then they had synergy. So what are we talking about? February of this year? Like, nothing that came out before February of 2024 can handle synergy at any level, because either no, because Idols wanted it too. Yeah, no, I think Diablo's gonna be really good for a lot of people. Okay, so what do we have going on tier now? We've got 80% ult damage from Shoutir. We've got 80% defense down, which, I mean, sucks, but it's something. 8 stacks of Rimuru, plus her other water attack buff, because they're permanent, versus temporary, so they stack together. So that's actually 140% water attack. Oh, look, I did math right. 100% weakness strike, 30% super weakness strike, so those stack together. Alright, that's good to know. Guaranteed pierce, pierce power, guaranteed synergy, synergy power, ult resistance down. Yeah, we should be... I don't want to send that orb because he would 100% die. And we do 2.3 million, even though we're not super weak point, because... I guess that 30% buff didn't matter then. Not... I don't think that 30% buff is holding us back from killing, right? Hey, it's still good, and it's just another unit that will take part in Nabe's convert, so that's cool. She's on Antagonist, orange team. Sure, hold on. Alright, I mean, Antagonist has a team. It's got a pretty good team, and it'll work. We're gonna go into Tempered Edge Veldora, and let's see if we have enough raw power to burst down 1.7 million HP. I kinda don't think so, but Emils is gonna give us extra damage. He's gonna give us the rainbows and the oranges, which are not nerfed in this fight. Turn 1, we need a special convert for blues, which Betty Mar could handle, plus the physical buff and ult resistance down. The new Isis, extra ult resistance down. And the Drago buff, which will enhance everything that Tyr is doing. Exalted Champion Reimer for the attack buff, and Rainbow Converts for ults. And then Shinsha for the 55.80% physical ally ult damage. The crit damage for her doesn't matter because we're not really going to crit with this team. But we are going to pierce, and she's got some pierce. So, I have a feeling that this could work. Alright, we got the turn that I wanted. We need 4 tier orbs to guarantee we get her ult next turn, or her EX ult next turn, because we have a lot of skills we need to use. 55, 55, 55, 55, 30, 50, 40. Literally, we're using everyone's skill. And we need to get her ult as soon as possible and send her away and build points back up. So this is kind of important here. So, let's do... Yeah, let's bring you in for Shinsha. And then we're going to get an ult for both Rimuru and Tyr. Not a big deal. Rimuru being type advantage really does help. Isis, if we can get her EX ult somewhere in here, is going to go really well because she'll give Tyr an extra either 25 or 50% weakness strike. And that'll really help us out. Okay, so we're going to miss a little bit, but because we have the Fantasy Milim underneath her, we're going to actually get the EX ult from the trait. So that's going to be really good. So we can send Tyr away now, and she can be our primary nuking character, and we can just build points up. The problem with this stage is that not only does Veldora have a lot of defense, he has quite a bit of physical resistance. 60%, which Benny Mara with his buff is only giving 50. So there is a little bit of not great stuff right there. Let's see if we do buff, 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 and ult swap. Okay. So we're going to need to build up another 55, so 110, 150. We need to get back to 180 points for the nuke turn. Okay, I mean, that should be fine. We're going to get, what, 4 rainbows on this turn? Oh, no, we don't use that skill. We use this skill, because that's the debuff. We need to hold that for turn 5. So, yeah, we need to build back up to 150, if math serves me right, which generally it doesn't. Okay, well, we need a lot of points the next couple of turns. But we can hold on to these buffs now, and we can convert these alts to rainbows. Perfect. And then both of you go away. And unfortunately, we have no Isis Orbs whatsoever, so that's just dandy. Alright. Well, if we can get some more Isis Orbs next turn, that'd be cool. Right, game? Right? Next turn? We need everything to work for us. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. None of your orbs are going to do a lot. 128 points, so we're going to go to 138, and then we'll go higher than that. So, we should be ready to go now at this point. I just want an Isis ult, and we got literally no Isis Orbs the entire run. Well, isn't that just dandy? Okay, well, sure, I guess. Cool beanos. We'll hold on to these orbs because Shinsha, we don't need to be up front for her buff because we're just buffing the ult damage. So let's just send these and get them out of here. We'll get the free 30 points from Emil's, and that'll put us over the cap of what we need to do here. All right, thank you, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it's turn 5. This is the last turn that Isis, her debuff is going to be super effective, right? Because after turn 5, you lose the 120% ult resistance, which is not something you really want to get rid of. And she... Okay, thanks for that. Alright. Alt buff first. Boom. That'll hit Tyr in the back, and technically... Well, it won't hit Rimuru, because he's not physical. So you get out of here. And then we need to apply the physical buff with Benimaru to Tyr. And now we can send him away. And now we have an entire hand of just this. So we'll do the ult resistance down. The magic down helps Rimuru, but not Tyr. And then the Drago. We're already getting Pierce Power from Tyr, so that's fine. But the Drago effect will enhance that even more. So I think we should be good now. Tyr has 80% ult damage. 60% water attack, 30% super weakness, which I don't think we're actually going to get because he's super weak to magic. 60% pierce power, 70% attack. Wait, does the Drago not hit her? Hold on. Magic allies get Drago. Ah, overlooked that. We got the pierce power, but not the Drago. Okay, well, unfortunate. Rimuru got it, though. So we'll send him first. Actually, doesn't matter. Alright, well, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does this kill? Does this get around the defense and physical resistance? 219 and 1 million. Alright, not quite enough. That is unfortunate. We got close. We got close. If she was magic, it would have been it. Is there anything we can do to make that better? We have to do another 262,000 damage. Ooh. Not with crit resistance like that. Well. Okay, we changed the team up quite a bit. We took out Rimuru, we took out Shinsha, we brought Blanc, and we brought Diablo. Because they have really powerful buffs that are gonna synergize very well with this team. So we're still going for the 4 orbs on turn 2 to get her EX ult. That's no different. It's just the buffs we've brought along are much more powerful, because 100% synergy power from Diablo that hits everybody means that we can put Tyr in the back and not have to bring her up front and do anything with that. And he has the green buff, which costs nothing, which can help buff the rainbow orbs for at least one of the turns. And then Blanc has a triple alt swap to blues, and it doesn't matter because we already know that Emil's changes every orb to orange and then 2 rainbows, so it doesn't matter how many blue orbs we have. But now we have the EX ult, we can use the 2 buffs and the physical buff and send her away. If we can get an Isis ult here, then again, we can really bump up the extra damage we can get off of her. I don't know, it kind of depends on next turn, because we're not going to really get her ult here. But we're going to use the green buff now, and then we'll use a Mills, and this will help the rainbows give us even more gauge increase, on top of them already giving a lot of gauge. And we can get a Blanc ult, which works pretty well. So we have 149, which is actually 179 points, which means we can use the 90-point synergy buff this turn 4, and we can really buff up. Okay, that's actually pretty good. So that'll be a Isis normal ult, a Blanc EX ult, whether we need it or not. And so we'll ult swap, we'll use the big time buff, and then we only need the 80 points, the 50, and the 30. So it's 130, 160. We need 160 points next turn, right? Math? 80 and 80? Yeah. Hey, look, math. And we can definitely get that, because we're going to probably cap out on points here, because we're already at 64. We've got a full hand of oranges, plus the rainbows, plus the skill points on the charm, and the 30 points that we're going to get for free on turn 5, and we're capped out. So we're ready to go. Perfect. So let's see if we have enough power now. I feel like we should. The extra weakness strike from Blanc, plus the synergy resistance down, coupled with the massive synergy buff from Diablo, plus the 120% ult down, I think we should have enough damage to kill. So let's bring tier in for Diablo. That's great. We have a bunch of orbs. And we don't need to do anything else. So buff, buff, and buff. And then we'll use a Mills to change everything to oranges. I'm kind of worried that Blanc would kill. Well, let's send the Isis ult first, get the 25%. Let's send the 200% orbs just to see it happen. And we'll send Blanc last as like a follow-up, cleanup ult, if we need it. So Isis, 148, or 140, somewhere around there. 31, 86,000. That's better than last time. And then her 200%, 182. And then her ult does 1.3. Alright, we got the job done. Would you look at that? We just had to bring in 2 gigantic support units. Who'da thunk? Alright, so tier. I mean, fairly solid option. She can be a reasonable DPS character. You don't really need to spend any crystals for her either, which is great. And if you happen to pull her, then perfect. You have another water single target physical person you can nuke with, because the last one we got was the last one we Shion. Great. And then Rimuru. And then Shinsha. So yeah, these, I hope you didn't summon for these 2. So, and hey, again, free, quote unquote, tickets only. She's fine. She, I think, is a little bit underpowered now at this point, but it's not that big of a deal. You can use her to nuke if you need to on a Pierce-focused stage, and I think she'll do fairly well. If you put enough support around her, she can nuke almost anything. So, I think she's fairly solid, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's it from me. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.